Well, hello, my ladies, here in Reclaim Hope here. I'm glad that you have joined me again for yet another video. And then, of course, those out in YouTube world that are watching it as well. Hello, welcome. So today, I want to talk about 3 of the 12 codependent behaviors that I kind of explore with clients on, because as a coach, I love to coach women who struggle with codependent behaviors and who want to go past those codependent behaviors and become a leading lady in their life. So that is what I do, is I help codependent women find strength in their codependencies, that they can turn them into powerful tools that make them become a leading lady in their life. Because sometimes we think that if it's a behavior, right, it's going to be stuck for good, like it's not going to change. Well, the truth is that we choose behaviors that are meeting a need. And so I want to tell you that the 3 behaviors we're going to talk about today: obsession, control, and denial. These are 3 behaviors that a codependent lady uses, and what it's doing, it is helping a need or a want that is instant. Because one of the things that we love as human beings is we love instant gratification. We love that reward feeling that we get. And so these are behaviors we choose out of kind of an emotion that is met. So that need or want that we feel is being met by choosing this behavior. And that's for right now. So obsession, the first one that I want to talk about. When I talk about obsession with codependent behavior, what I'm talking about is how us as codependents, we obsess about the people, let's just call them qualifiers. So people in our life, our loved ones, so it's our mother, it's our father, it's our sibling, it's a friend of ours, it's our significant other, it's our lover. It's somebody in our life that we are obsessing about their behavior. So the interesting thing about these 3 behaviors that I'm going to be exploring on obsession is that it's normally a behavior that we think we see in other people, but we don't see it within ourselves. So we see them as being obsessed about something else that's not us. So like, let's say they have an addiction to something or whatever it is. So they're obsessed about that. We see them as that, well, they have to have a drink, or they have to look at porn, or they have to do gambling, or they're always on their electronics, or they're always playing video games. So these are, we think that they have this obsession. And so we point it out to them on the regular sometimes. We say, well, why do you have such a problem with, you need to stop doing this. So we find their obsessions. And what we do is we actually obsess about their obsession. We obsess about them. So we're not gaining any traction. And one of the things that we're doing is we're talking about that obsession because we think that at that moment, that gives us that need or want. Like, in other words, we're expressing to them how we feel about their obsession. So that is filling that need we have at that point. We just want to be heard, right? We're like, I just want you to hear how you're hurting me. And so this is a form of obsession, is that we are telling them that, hey, you need to look at me and my needs, and you're obsessing over this, and you need to stop obsessing over this, and you need to start focusing on our relationship. And so we get into this really kind of toxic idea of obsession with our loved ones in our life. And it's not that we're meaning to do it to be mean or to be obsessive. We're doing it because it's filling a need. We think we want to be heard right then. We want them to understand how we feel. And because that's the need we want, we choose this action of obsession. So I want to suggest to you that instead of obsession, I want you to find passion. Now my pen is going to go ink, I think. So instead of obsession, we're replacing it for passion. And this passion is not about the other person, that is obsession about their other person's behavior. The passion is what we are passionate about, what we love, how we want to show up in the world, our passion and our love. And what that does is when we start to focus on our passion, it frees up the obsession. So the person maybe we're having an obsession about, it frees up them to be able to deal with whatever they need to deal with. Because what's happening is we're not bringing up that anymore, because we're living our passion. We're living what we want to create in this world, how we want to show up, the passion that we have about ourselves and who we are and what we can add into this world. We've created this passion, and this passion is for how we want to be. So the interesting thing is that what's happening, this passion is long term. So, right, that's not the instant need or want that we have. Passion is something that is continual, that grows and blossoms. And so when we think about our behavior showing up with passion, we're thinking in the future. We're thinking from how it's going to look like, what we're creating now, and how that's going to grow our passion more and more and more. And because we're living in what's going to be, which I like to call the long gain of this behavior, we live in passion, we decide to get rid of the obsession, which is the short-term need that we have at that point, thinking we need to be heard and understood, and realizing what we need to do is we need to live out our passion and show up in the world with our love and passion that we have. All right, ladies, so that's obsession versus passion. And I went a little more deeper into that because I want you to show that this is the current need and desire we feel like we're meeting from this behavior. This is the future of what we're creating in our life, how we're showing up in the world of passion. All right, now we have the next one is control. So how does control work? Again, control is another behavior that we most likely see in other people. We think that they're controlling us. We think because they are playing the video games when we ask them to come to dinner, they're controlling us. They're not doing what we say for them to do. And I'm just trying to be helpful here, right? And so we come from a sense of control, using control in a way that we are making requests, but then they kind of have that demand undertone under it. So it's not necessarily a request, it's more like a demand. And if they don't show up, then they're the bad person and this is wrong. And a lot of times we think that because of their obsession, that we believe that they have an addiction of something, that they are controlling us. And what happens is actually we control a lot. And what it is that we have to come from a place of understanding that the control is that instant, like telling somebody you're parking in the wrong spot. Like they're driving the car, they can park where they want to park. And if you're throwing a fit because of where they're parking at, understanding that you are controlling this person driving. This person's an adult. If he wants to drive wherever he wants to go, he gets to go, and he'll get the consequences of whatever that is. And you allow them to just be who they are without having to control the situation. And because the control is that instant gratification right then and there, we think we're being heard. We think that they're listening to us because we're controlling. And so what I want to offer instead of control, I want to offer self-awareness. So when we choose to live in self-awareness, this is the long gain. This is the long gain. So this will give us our need and want in the long gain. This is the short gain. So thinking that we're in control of the situation. When we live from self-awareness, so example, like when we're driving in the car with somebody and we're always making comments about how they're driving or what they're doing wrong or that they need to be doing this, understanding that that is a need of control. So you feel like you're meeting that need right now. When you could sit back and just have self-awareness that you are actually thinking that thought and wonder and question and go, I wonder why I'm thinking that. That's really interesting. I mean, I know that they're capable of driving, and I'm kind of telling them how they need to be driving. and I don't need to be doing that. So that's interesting. I'm wondering what that's about. What's that's about with me? What's going on with me that I feel like I need to be saying something? When I can just allow them to be them. And then the self-awareness over time, see, as you go through self-awareness over time, you start to gain more of that want and need over time. So this self-awareness becomes something that you are craving and wanting, and you enjoy questioning yourself, and you come from a place of curiosity and not a place of judgment. And so understanding that, so instead of control, we're going to choose self-awareness. All right, the last one here of the first three is denial. So denial is us saying that there's nothing wrong with us. Like, it is all of them. It's this person in my life that's causing the problem. Like, they're causing my pain. There's nothing wrong with me. As soon as they change, then everything's going to be okay. And so that is obviously living that form of denial. And a lot of times, like I said, these are three behaviors that we see in others, but we never see in ourselves. Like, we think they're in denial. They're in such denial. They're so oblivious. They're doing all these things wrong. And if they would just listen to me, then, they wouldn't be in denial anymore. And the funny thing is that actually we're in denial, bringing that. And when we choose self-awareness of that, it kind of is like, that's interesting that I am thinking that I don't need to be, they're the one in denial. It's not my fault. And then when we come from denial, what I want to offer instead of denial is honesty. So you're exchanging the need of denial, because this is the behavior of denying everything, right? So this behavior is coming up and it's meeting that need, that instant need, saying that I'm right, they're wrong, right? Because this is denial, doing this and changing it for honesty about, I need to explore what's going on with me. Like, what is the actual circumstance or situation without any feeling or emotion behind it? What's going on? What's coming up for me? And why are those things coming up for me? And just be able to sit down and just kind of look at it and be honest with yourself, and be honest with yourself in just a loving manner. Like, you're just totally coming from a place of like, So in other words, nothing has gone wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just now becoming honest with yourself, and you're looking at it in the long game, how that's going to meet my needs long term. Because at the beginning, it can be really rocky, right? You can have points where, where you're trying to practice this honesty, and then your partner or your friend or your parent, whatever it is, the loved one that you're struggling with, that they're just going, this is all your fault. They just got this blaming game, and you're in denial, and you're trying to now become honest with yourself. And they're saying these words, and sometimes you're like going, is it all me? Am I I guess I'm just the bad person, and not going into that victim mode, but instead becoming honest with yourself and going, I could see their point. Yeah, that's true. I could probably improve on this. That's something I'm willing to explore. Like, I might be able to improve on that behavior. That's true. I think I could do that. I want to try next time to do that better, or to be more present during that time, so that I'm honest with myself and I'm not denying and being in denial. So these are 3 codependent behaviors that I would love to see you turn into what we call 3 leading lady behaviors. These are a leading lady. They show up in their lives with passion, with self-awareness, with honesty. They're not trying to mix words, and they're willing to say, that was my fault. And they're willing to be honest about things, and they're open to it and to experiencing all the emotion, and not just keeping it into a pigeonhole of what it is they think or want that's going to meet that need. They're open to the long game. They're like, I'm going to gain in the long gain, and I'm not going to focus here on my needs and want in the short gain, because that's not serving me. I want these to serve me. So I hope this is helpful here in Reclaim Hope here. And I love sharing these with you guys. I'm excited to share the next 3 with you as well. Like I said, I have 12 of them. So there's 4 sets of 3 in different categories. This is the first category, like I had mentioned, and I did write a blog for this week. And so if you look through, if you scroll through after watching this video, you can see one of the blogs, and I go into a little bit more of some detail, something you can read, a little more concrete to kind of explore that. But actually, I went into more detail here, but those are just little highlight points. And so when I write a blog, I really try to keep it, you know, kind of sweet and simple. And then these videos that I'm sharing with you in this group, these are to explore further into that and to just dive a little bit deeper and to give you some perspective that might be really helpful for you in your life and your goals that you have and the relationships that you so fully desire, that I know you can create them. You can be a leading lady. And if you need help with this, please don't hesitate at all to reach out to me, to send me an email, a message, whatever, and say, hey, I'd love to do a free coaching consult with you. Because I do offer, the first time we meet, a free 1-hour consult for you to explore my coaching and what it is that I can do in helping you with any kind of situation or problem that you're experiencing right now, and seeing that if I could help you with creating some more passion, some more self-awareness, and some more honesty for yourself so that you can start to create what it is you really want in your life. All right, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I'm glad that you got to listen to this, and I hope this was helpful. All right, take care. Have a good night.